Alaska, with temperatures plummeting to -60 degrees Celsius, is in the grip of an extreme winter, and a journey of 600 miles lies ahead. One that pilots refuse to fly, and no transport is willing to travel in this circumstance. The journey is critical, as the lives of all the children in Alaska are at stake. At this time, a remarkably brave old man named Sapala agrees to make the journey with his loyal and highly intelligent dog, Togo. Traveling through these mountains is nearly impossible due to the blinding storm, which makes visibility nearly zero. In this perilous weather, will Sapala and his loyal dog be able to complete the journey and bring back the medicine to save the children? Will Togo endure the 600-mile journey? And why was Sapala specifically chosen for this mission? This is the true story of a brave dog, Togo. The film begins by introducing a couple, Sapala and Constance, who train dogs for travel through forests and icy regions, which is also their main source of income. One day, their husky gives birth to a litter of puppies, among which one dog is particularly weak. Sapala doesn't want to keep this dog because it's small in size and very mischievous. His wife, Constance, suggests training this puppy along with the others, but Sapala refuses, believing it too playful and frail for the harsh life of sled dogs. Wanting to get rid of it, he decides to give the puppy to a friend, but Constance doesn't agree with his decision. However, he still gives the puppy to his friend, who, after a few days, returns Togo because he is too naughty and uncontrollable. Togo wants to join Sapala in sled dog training, but Sapala does not want to waste his time training such a stubborn and mischievous dog. Before heading out to train, Sapala locks Togo in a cage, but Togo is unstoppable. Digging through the soil, he escapes and finds his way to Sapala's training area. At one point, Togo becomes so unruly that he disrupts the sled dogs, causing them to lose control and dump Sapala into the water. Sapala had grown frustrated with Togo. No matter where he tried to lock him up, Togo would always find a way to escape. Even when Sapala locked him in a closed room, this clever dog managed to slip out through a small window in the chimney. Finally, Sapala decided to give Togo to another friend, who kept him locked in her house all day. But Togo, determined to escape, searched for a way out. When he couldn't find one, he risked his life, breaking through a glass window to escape. After a long journey, Togo found his way back to Sapala's training grounds. When Sapala saw that Togo's paw was injured from the broken glass, he placed him on the sled. But Togo wanted to run with the other dogs. Eventually, Sapala tied Togo alongside them, and soon noticed that Togo was faster than the other dogs. Impressed, he moved Togo to the front. When Togo outran even the lead dog, Sapala finally made him the primary lead. Togo then quickly led the team home, impressing Sapala with his abilities. He told his wife that Togo was not just a sled dog, but a special lead dog. This marked the beginning of a strong bond between Sapala and Togo. Some days later, a major sled dog race was held in town, and for the first time in his life, Sapala won the championship with Togo. Togo became the talk of the town as the small-sized lead dog known for his speed. Over time, Togo became famous. 12 years later, a deadly outbreak of diphtheria spread in Alaska, claiming the lives of many children. Although there was medicine for it, it was 600 miles away. The weather was harsh, with continuous snowstorms, and pilots refused to fly as the extreme cold caused engines to fail. The mayor called a meeting with the sled riders, requesting their help in bringing the medicine from 600 miles away. None of the riders were willing to risk their lives and their dogs' lives in such conditions. Sapala listened silently and left without a word. On his way home, a doctor asked Sapala for a ride to the hospital, which he gladly provided. There, he saw children he knew, some of whom had already died due to the virus. This sight moved Sapala deeply, and he decided to embark on the 600-mile journey to retrieve the medicine. He chose Togo for the mission, even though Togo was now old. Sapala knew that no animal was smarter than Togo. His wife tried to dissuade him from taking Togo due to his age and weakened state, but Togo was Sapala's only hope. Next day, after preparing everything, Sapala sets out to get the medicine. He travels quickly, but soon a massive storm approaches, and as they get closer, fog envelopes them, making visibility nearly impossible. Togo is racing at full speed, then suddenly tries to stop. Sapala is confused, but the other dogs also halt. As he looks ahead, he realizes there is a deep ravine. He tries to anchor the sled in the snow, but it keeps slipping. With great effort, Togo manages to turn the entire sled back, pulling everyone to safety. This was why Sapala wanted no other lead dog for this dangerous journey. Only Togo could spot the ravine in the fog. Afterward, they continue their journey, and after covering some distance, they spot a rest house where Sapala decides to take a short break. A lady there observes Togo and warns Sapala that the dog is exhausted and needs rest. But with no time to spare, Sapala soon resumes the journey. Further along, he sees a frozen lake. Crossing it would shorten his trip by a day, but it's a risky choice. Deciding to take the risk, he urges Togo to race across the lake. As they pass, cracks begin to appear in the ice, but within a few hours, they manage to cross it safely. Meanwhile, back at the hospital, the children's condition worsens. The staff decides to send another man with the medicine from the opposite side, but Sapala's wife is unhappy with the decision, fearing that if the man doesn't meet Sapala en route, it would greatly delay the journey. Having covered a long distance, Sapala stops to rest at a checkpoint for the night. The next day, he continues, pushing through storms. Exhausted, he can barely stand on the sled, half conscious as he continues. Suddenly, a man calls out to him, but in his dazed state, Sapala doesn't hear. Luckily, Togo hears the man's voice and stops after a short distance. When Sapala comes to his senses, he realizes it's the man bringing the medicine. Grateful, they pause at a checkpoint where Jack, the man who delivered the medicine, warns Sapala that Togo is in poor condition and needs rest or might not survive. But Sapala refuses to leave Togo behind and sets off on the return journey. Soon, they face the same river they had crossed the day before, but it looks more unstable this time. Sapala considers an alternate route, but it would take 2 additional days. Taking a deep breath, he decides to cross the river again, urging Togo to go full speed. As feared, an ice chunk breaks away from the main sheet, carrying them adrift. The opposite shore is close, but the icy water could be fatal within minutes. In a desperate move, Sapala grabs Togo and throws him to the other side, where Togo pulls with all his strength, bringing the ice sheet to shore and saving them all. After traveling some more, Sapala arrives at another checkpoint. A lady there sees Togo and starts crying, telling Sapala that Togo is dying and cannot continue the journey. Sapala realizes the long journey has taken a heavy toll on Togo, and he doesn't want to lose him. So, the next morning, instead of hitching Togo at the front, he lets him sit on the sled with him. However, Togo refuses to sit. He runs ahead, positioning himself at the front once again. Finally, Sapala has no choice but to let Togo lead once more. A short while later, they face a severe storm where Sapala can't see anything. He approaches Togo and tells him they're close to their destination and that only Togo can lead them there. He then sits down with his head lowered, trusting Togo to guide them. Togo runs as fast as he can, but after several hours, he suddenly stops. When Sapala goes to check on him, he finds Togo sitting down and unresponsive. This frightens Sapala, but then they see a light. A man carrying a lantern approaches, revealing that Togo has brought them safely to the last checkpoint. Sapala rests with Togo there, while Jack, the man at the checkpoint, takes the medicine to the hospital. The news of Sapala's 600-mile journey to save the children spreads across town. When Jack reaches the hospital, reporters ask him for the names of the man and dog who saved everyone, publishing the story. When Sapala's wife hears the news, she is upset because they're celebrating someone else instead of Sapala and Togo. The next day, the town's mayor and many people come to Sapala's home to thank him and Togo. Among them is a young girl whose life was saved. She looks at Togo and asks if he's going to die. Sapala, unable to bear it, leaves the house in tears, feeling guilty for pushing Togo too hard. His wife comforts him, reminding him that only Togo could have completed such a long journey and saved so many lives. A few days later, Sapala heads out to train dogs, and despite his illness, Togo follows him, unwilling to stay behind. Sometime later, Togo has several puppies, and people from all over the town come to buy them. However, due to a misreported story, a statue is built of a different dog as the hero who saved lives with the 600-mile journey. Later, in 2011, the story is retold in a newspaper, giving Togo rightful credit as the dog who saved the children. In honor of their bravery, the breed is named Sapala Husky. This final scene underscores the loyalty and courage of dogs. If you enjoyed this explanation, please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.